What's up, guys? Weather Wednesday, coming at you with another Raid Shadow Legends video. And we have another fusion coming up. Armand's, and from all I've heard, he's gonna be amazing. Sounds like I can't pass him up. But that's not always the case when it comes to fusions. So today what I want to do is talk about all the fusions that I have on my account and if they were worth going for. My judgment of whether or not they're worth going for is, are they useful in a part of the game that isn't Faction Wars or Cursed City? Because quite frankly, any champion can be useful in those areas if you really need them. So what I'm going to do is I've got all of my fusion champs, whether I fuse them myself or I happen to summon them. I'm going to go over them whether I think they're good or not. I've been playing the game for about 2.5 years, so I don't have all the super old fusions, but I've summoned quite a number of them. I haven't gone for every fusion since I started playing, but I have gone for most of them over the last couple years, so it's a pretty good amount. What I don't have is Rhodos. I wish I had Rhodos. He'd get a pass for me, but everybody else, it's going to be pass or fail, and I'll let you know where I use them. Number 1, Bambus. I think he is actually a little underrated. I use him in one of my Hydra teams, and I use him in my Dragon team. He's actually very useful. You can use him in an Avenging set, but I don't have good Avenging gear, so I threw him in one Retaliation set. Best I could do, but he's pretty good. I find him useful. He gets a pass. Blizzard the Howler. I'm going to be honest with you. I got him because I thought maybe he'll be a hard Fire Knight champion. I don't know if he's good enough for that. I've used him only in Cursed City, and I don't really love him the way I've played with him. Let me know. If you disagree with any of these fails like this, let me know if you use them and if they're good and how you use them. How do you set them up to give you success? I don't really like the guy. I think he's just outclassed by quite a number of champions. Owella, I found her slightly useful for a time in Hydra. I don't use her in a whole lot of content. I'd say she's a small pass because she is technically useful, but currently I don't really have much of a use for her outside of Cursed City. We got Shamrock. I actually summoned him not long ago. I don't really find him all that good. I don't even think he's that good in Cursed City. I don't really have a use for him. I was disappointed when I got him, and I think he's a fail. Supreme Elhane, I think, is a little underrated. She's maybe not the best nuker in the game, but she's very good. She's perfect for my speed farming arena team, and she's also useful in various wave content throughout the game. I personally mostly use her in speed farming arena and 3v3 arena. She also helps me speed farm Minotaur. Speed farm, like, it kind of depends on what champions I'm trying to level up, but she helps take it down a little pretty fast. Let's see. We got Pythion, one of the best ever. I don't have Duchess. Wish I had Duchess. This is the closest I have to Duchess. He's a good reviver. He's got the cleanse with the block buffs. Can't ask for much more. Really glad I have Pythion. I would not even be happy I wouldn't even be sad if I pulled a second or third one. Marinix, one of the most disappointing ones ever. Tried using her in Hydra because she has a Hex, but it's not good enough. She doesn't hit hard enough. I just don't like it. With the curse set now, you can just put a curse set on a good AoE champion, and that'll work even better. Gaius the Gleeful, he's a lot of fun. He's a fun arena champion, and you can use him in other wave content to just quickly wipe out waves. The only problem with him is if you run into anybody who has a block buffs or a cleanse, he's not useful anymore. But under the right circumstances, he's a lot of fun. I think he's cool. He's barely a pass, but just because he's fun. Opardin Clanfather, I skipped intentionally because I don't think he's that good. I use him a little bit in Curse City after I summon him. I still don't think he's that good. He was worthy of a skip. He's still a fail in my opinion. Molly Tinkard was a fusion way before I played the game, but she's one of my favorite champions. She has an amazing provoke, she has a revive, and I mean, what more do you want from her? I use her on my best Hydra team, and I use her in my Doom Tower waves. I made a video a few weeks back showing how I get through every single wave with one team. She's part of it, and she's the best provoker in the game as far as I know. Definitely a pass. A Mick Trunkheart, honestly, if you see a Void Legendary in a fusion, just go for it. They're so hard to get. I underutilize him. He's really good. I just have him mostly in Phantom Grove. That's where I needed him. He can be used a lot of places. He can be used in Clan Boss, probably Hydra, different dungeons. He's super useful. I should use him more than I do, but he's definitely a pass. Tormin was a fusion a long time ago. I did not get him through the fusion. I got him through a shard, and then they had an event a few weeks later where I got a second copy of him. He's okay. It can be useful in certain live arena setups. He's really good against speed arbiter teams. Any team that's going to put a lot of buffs on themselves or do a lot of team turn meter stuff. You just have to have enough accuracy, and he can do a little bit of damage too. So he's decent. Timid the Fool. I am currently re-gearing a lot of my champions. So just because they don't have gear on right now doesn't mean I don't use them. However, with Timid the Fool, I really think that he's, for me, just a Curse City champion. Like, I use him a lot in Curse City, but that's about it. Like, I don't know what he's great at. I don't know where, like, he's super useful. Maybe he's a little bit better with his partner Kaja. But I'm gonna say he's kind of a fail just because I don't really use him outside of Curse City. So if that's the bottom line, is you got to use him somewhere. He's kind of a fail for me. Because Curse City, you can use just about any champion. You can use a lot of epics. You can use random champions for most stuff. I mean, there are certain things where you need specific ones. I don't know if he's necessary for much. He's useful, but not necessary. Nishak Verminlord, the Rat King, is a beast. I've used him in a lot of areas. Currently, I use him more than anywhere else. I use him in Doom Tower waves, and I use him in Hydra. He's great all over the place. You can use him lots of... I'm probably forgetting places that I use him. He's useful against a lot of Doom Tower bosses. He's great. His bombs are so powerful. I don't regret having him at all. Definitely a pass. Mighty Uko, one of the best fusions we've ever had. He's great on my Hydra team. He's useful in a lot of areas of the game. A lot of people use him in Arena. I do use him mostly in 3v3 Arena, but Hydra is my favorite place to use him. He's great, definitely a pass. Cantra the Cyclone was actually a champion that I summoned. She was a fusion before I played the game. She is difficult to use, but if you can get the right setup, she's very useful in Hydra, and I do use her on my hard Hydra team. So I'll give her a pass. Zinogre Blade Master, I haven't used her. I just got my masteries for her. I haven't even put them in. I'm going to say she's probably a pass, but it's too early to tell for me. I think she'll be a good Fire Knight champion. I don't know if I necessarily needed her, but I'm going to try, see if she helps out a team. She's cool. We'll see. We'll see on her. In my mind, she's a pass, but we'll see if that turns into fruition or not. Razavarg was one of the most underrated fusions that we've ever had. Very interesting champ that his power is based on attack and speed, which is very unique. Even he's been in the game for about a year. He was the Easter champion last year. He's great. I use him in Hydra. I use him in Hard Fire Knight. He's fast, does a lot of damage, does a lot of hits. Super useful. And he's got a good speed aura. Morrigan, I actually skipped on purpose because I just didn't have the resources at the time. And then I pulled her like a month later. So that was a big win for me. I don't use her a lot. I know that she could be useful. Like, I happen to use Lysandra in a lot of places that I could be using Morrigan. They're not one for one, but they have a lot of similarities. I would say she's a pass if I didn't happen to have Lysandra for the same thing. So lucky for me, I skipped her. I got her through a shard, so I didn't have to waste all those other resources. I don't use her a lot. Walking Tomb Drain. He was underrated at the time, and he's still a little underrated now. He's great. I have used him in Hydra in the past, and he's okay for that. But I use him in Sand Devil's Necropolis. And so I'm sure that most of you have seen the teams with Godseeker and either Walking Tomb Drain or Ninja. I happen to use this guy. He's great. Helicath. He was the first reason why I could do Ultra Nightmare 1 key clan boss. Wonderful. I just re-geared him, trying him out in Live Arena. So we'll see how that works out. But he's an amazing champion. You can use him all over the place. You can use him in different wave content. You can use him in Iron Twins if you want. He's definitely a pass. Tutor Rhymehide was the first champion that I ever fused. And he's okay. I used him for a time in my clan boss team. With him, I was able to do a 2 key, and then I got Helicath later and became a 1 key. He's okay, but he's, other than being super cool looking, he's kind of an epic and a legendary skin. And so I'm gonna give him a fail, but he looks cool. So I hope they give him a buff someday. Just because look at that guy. Such a cool champion. Unlike Rule the Hunt Master, this guy is pure trash. Pulled him very early in the account, maybe my second or third summon legendary. I've never made a good use out of him. It's too hard to set up. He's not worth it. Definitely a fail. Nari the Lucky, I was unlucky enough to pull a few weeks ago. I haven't used him in anything. I doubt I will ever use him in anything unless he gets a sub buff or he gets a passive buff in the fact that there's always new content coming to the game. Maybe he'll be useful someday, but I don't like him at all. He's definitely a fail. But then there's Gerptuck Mossbeard. Some people have used him successfully in Hydra. Not me. I tried it. I hated it. It's terrible. I hate this champion. I know that some people are going to be mad about this, but for me, he's a huge fail and I hate him so much. Brackus the Shifter. Kind of a funky champion. He has a cool little 6-hitter that could be useful for Fire Knight, but I don't really like him that much. I think he dies pretty easily, and even though he comes back to life, he just dies again. I really haven't found a good use for him ever. Had him for a long time. Don't really like him. Wouldn't go for him. I happened to pull a couple of him through shards. Wish I hadn't. The Vault of the Thorn. He's okay, but not okay enough. I was hyped on maybe using him in Hydra, and I've just never gotten enough out of him. I don't think he's a good enough provoker, and I don't think he's a good enough damage dealer. Maybe if you gear him perfectly and the perfect team, he's good enough. Outside of Faction Wars and Curse City, I'm not seeing that use. I did fuse him, and I also summoned a second copy, and I don't really care about either copy other than I guess it helps out my faction guardians. Vergamkar was a fusion before I played the game. I happened to summon him. He's only there for Faction Wars. What else are you going to use him for? He's a big, fat, ugly fail that I don't think anybody, I'm sure somebody, I don't think anybody really uses him outside of Faction Wars. Not good enough. Drak Goldagot, another one of my least favorite champions. I pulled him over 2 years ago and never really found a use for him. Not a good use. He was never good. He just doesn't do enough. Don't like him. He's a fail for me. What a shame. And finally, Mother Sibylle. I don't know. I just got her. She's level 53. I have her masteries ready. I'm probably going to try her either in Iron Twins, even though I don't need to, or Sand Devil, even though I don't need to. I don't know. I might try her out. I think she's a cool champion. I'm not sure that I need her. She's TBD for me. I do have a 5-star soul for her, so we'll give her a pass for now, but I don't know. So that's it. Those are all the fusions that I have on my account, as far as I can tell. Was Newt a fusion? Or was Newt free? I don't remember. If Newt was a fusion, I think he was a fusion, and I think he was the best fusion ever. Him or Rhodos. People didn't know Rhodos was good when he was a fusion. I think Newt was a fusion. If he was, he's amazing. Obviously. So that's it. That's my list. Is Newt a fusion? I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. You can tell me I'm dumb in the comments. That's fine. That's it. That's it for today. Those are my fusions. Tell me, who's your favorite fusion and who is your least favorite fusion? Who surprised you and who disappointed you? Don't forget to hit subscribe on your way out. And we'll see how this next fusion goes. I think he's going to be really good. A lot of people think he's bad for the game, but we'll find out. You definitely don't want to miss out on him, though. That's all I know. I think that you're going to want him, even if you don't like him in the game. I think you're going to want to have him in your account. That's my guess. We'll find out. Thanks so much. I'm Weiler Wednesday, and I'll check you out on the next video.